Staring in the mirror, having conversations, telling myself we don't stop, we gon' drive, we may fall, but we gon' fly. It's showtime. This isn't where you give up, this is where you rise, this is where you shine, this is where you become the greatest of all time. History in the making.
Good morning, Viking Nation. Those beats courtesy of the Disney Plus movie Safety that I know you guys were watching, I don't know, a few weeks ago during lunch times. And I only saw bits and pieces of the movie, but it's a fantastic movie to watch from what it sounds like. I'm definitely going to get caught up on that. But I heard that song during one of my sessions I watched with the 6th graders or 7th graders. Just absolutely loved it. So hopefully you enjoy that each morning. I want to let you know I was watching some of my videos on replay last week, and I definitely felt like I just did not have the energy that I needed to bring for school. And so that is my goal here going forward for the rest of the year, in fact, is to be as energetic as possible so that you guys can just enjoy, these few minutes of announcements when I'm talking. So we've got a lot coming up here this week. Just a reminder, if you are an 8th grader heading to the South Side, the course selection form and athletic survey is located on the Lane Middle School Hub page. Make sure you go there and make sure you have that taken care of for tomorrow, because you're going to be meeting with counselors during breakout rooms and Zoom to make sure you have those courses selected. If you're heading to Snyder, we still have information upcoming about when and where that's going to take place, so you can get your classes ready for your high school career. Again, that's 8th graders for Southside, 8th graders heading to Snyder. That'll be later and upcoming. Okay, at this time, would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence? Hope you had a great Valentine's Day weekend, and here we are on our Pink Out Day. Let's get into it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing for a moment of silence.
You may be hearing the sounds of my family in the background, but that's okay. We've got a little Mario action going on as well. But anyway, here's our announcements for today. Students, I've got a few adjustments I'm making to Rise Above Be Dynamic recognitions and prizes we give out. So pay attention to those and make sure you're listening for your name at the end of the day. Attention all music students, just a reminder from the music department and your teachers that instruments must be taken home to be able to participate on the days when you are an at-home learner. So be sure, if you're an in-person student, that at the end of the day, you're grabbing your instrument to take home with you for the days you are learning from home. Rise Above and Be Dynamic recognitions that teachers gave over the weekend, but here for today on Monday. From Miss Kennedy, Crystal Dominguez, a blended learner, Rise Above. Crystal has been killing it in class lately. She's been on Zoom every day, has turned in all of her assignments, has put in a lot of hard work. Ms. Kennedy is super proud of her for how much she has dedicated herself. And for Mrs. McKee, a couple of students, Sophia Sharp and Jaden Billingsley, blended learners. Be Dynamic. Jaden is a remote learner while Sophia is a blended learner, and they still manage to work together and be responsible to produce an amazing project in class. Their effort and ability levels really shone through their work. Their work on the Flipgrid presentation was so well planned and charismatic that Ms. McKee laughed multiple times. They really showcased what students can do when they're dedicated and put their mind to it. Congratulations to our recognition students, and thank you teachers for putting those out there. All right, students, from last week, these were the only people that were given recognitions by teachers. And so I'm going to try something a little different to make sure that kids are getting their awards each week after they've been recognized. And so what I'm going to do over the next 2 days is, instead of asking students to come down after you watch the announcements in the morning, which we have not had a lot of luck in, I'm going to, at the end of the day, announce these names over the PA system so that those students can then come down when we're right before dismissal, and those kids can get their treats or their prizes from our cabinet that we have to select from. So I'll repeat these on a group 1 day and a group 2 day, probably Mondays and Tuesdays, to make sure that everybody gets their prizes for being recognized as rising above or being dynamic. So please know that starting today, I'll be saying these names, or whoever does the dismissal announcement, they will say these names, and you as students, if you're in person, should come down, and between group 1, group 2, we'll get you taken care of. And then if you are a virtual learner, an all virtual learner, I'm going to probably reach out to you via email and have you tell me what it is you want. And most likely, I'll get you a gift card that you can use as your prize. Any eighth graders that are going to be heading to Southside High School next year, you've had your initial meeting about course selections and athletic survey. You can see those links here on the Lane Middle School Hub page, right here on the first column here on the top, right underneath the title page. You can go there. There's some Google Forms to fill out to give your input and information as we make our way towards those course selections here next week when you meet in Zoom breakout rooms with the Southside counselors. If you have any questions, please let Mrs. Brewer know. Happy birthday from the Viking Nation today, Monday, February 15th, to Francisco Tilapia. Have a wonderful birthday, Francisco. Viking Nation, you are amazing. Special shout out to our new custodial engineer, Mr. Jackson. Jealous Jackson, that is. You guys have definitely seen him around for a number of weeks now, but I want to thank you, sir, for the hard work that you're doing. So staff and students, if you see Mr. Jackson throughout the day, he's probably not going to watch these. Just make sure you go up to him and say thank you for all of his hard work. Rise above, be dynamic, and have a great Monday.